I'm speaking to you in my traditional Blackfoot language, the language of this particular territory where you're doing all of your wonderful work with the TEDSummit. My name is Cowboy Smith. My colonial name is Cowboy Smith. Cowboy is my real name, so don't ask, or we'll start a fight. I'm just teasing you. But I am the curator of the Red Talks program, much like TED Talks. This is not TED Talks, this is Red Talks. And it's great to finally actually have an opportunity to collaborate and meet curators from around the world to share what we're trying to do with this indigenous platform, which is created and activated in the spirit of oral tradition. Some of you may know, as indigenous people, we all have oral traditions, and this is how we pass our stories down from generation to generation. We did not write our histories down. We did not have libraries. We had elders. We did not have universities. We had ceremonies, and we still practice all of these things today here in 2016. As a Blackfoot person, I'm very honored to be working with my elders, our leaders, our board members, Dr. Leroy Lilbear and Amethyst First Charger. And you know, for me as an indigenous person, I've always had an identity issue living in a colonial occupied country that is Canada. And now, as I'm connecting to my roots and my culture, I see that a lot of our First Nation communities are suffering because they are disconnected from the land. They are disconnected from their culture, and they are disconnected from opportunities that they might not get if they were in better positions of privilege. And what we're trying to do with the Red Talks program is bring in educators, doctors, academics, historians, language revitalization people, cultural people, and build a discourse. So much like TED, technology, entertainment, and design, RED is also an acronym for resilience, empowerment, and discourse. And the X in our allegorical world is a silent one, but it's a knowledge bundle that is gathered from the four directions and that we all collectively contribute to so we can set up next generations for success, because there's enough problems that nature will present to us that we don't need to be presenting problems for each other. So what we're trying to do is activate ourselves as good ancestors and use this platform and create a safe space for indigenous people to share their stories, but not only the indigenous people, also we have an allies program where any person on the planet, if you want to help us with the diabetes pandemic we're faced with, if you want to help us with the legal battles we face with land claims all over the Americas and the rest of the world, we want to hear your voice. So with this program, we just launched it in October. We've done 3 programs. I went to Chile in November. I did a Red Talks program on the land with the Mapuche people south of Santiago. And our programs will happen in big concert halls, they'll happen in school gymnasiums, they'll happen out on the land, and they'll happen in ceremony. We want to be able to activate the Red Talks program in every part of the world. Everyone is indigenous to somewhere. And if you want to connect to the place you call home, always know that all of North America and South America is indigenous territory, and it is still indigenous territory. All of the treaties signed with indigenous people across the land most of them have been broken by the Crown, by the United States, by Spain and other colonial entities. So now it's our time as a generation, as a collective generation in the information era, to try and create discourse and go and find the truth, because I think we're all done with the verisimilitude. We're done with the revisionist history. We're done with the lack of education. So with this program, we are following the lead of indigenous people from those territories. If you're in New York City, you're in Oneida, Seneca, Shinnecock territory. If you're in Vancouver, British Columbia, you're in Coast Salish territory. If you're In Los Angeles, California, you're talking about the Morongo people, the Pachanga people. Indigenous people are still in their lands and they become invisible, and Hollywood has a lot to do with it, so we're going to go after Hollywood at some point. We're going to straighten them out a bit. But in the meantime, in the between time, we are building discourse all around the world. Rio just returned from New Zealand. We are planning a program with the Maori people of New Zealand, and we are going to follow the cultural protocols and all of the traditional practices of the indigenous people with a curator from the indigenous territory to help us guide, of course, the intertribal exchange that will happen at each of our programs. So all of you are leaders in your own communities, and all of you know the narrative of what the indigenous history is to your territory, and we're here to talk to you. We want to know more about who you know, what your connections may be, and we want to work with you and eventually take the Red Talks program, take our knowledge bundle, bring it to your community and put on a show and activate the frequencies of the land, which can only be translated by the indigenous people through language, through song, through dance, through ceremony, and many other cultural practices that have been taking place in those particular territories since time immemorial, pre-contact, pre-colonial discussion. So it's an honor to be here with all of you. I want to thank Mary Eve and all of the TEDx organizers. We're here all night. We want to have one-to-one conversations with everybody. This is just the beginning, I think, of a very long journey for us, a lifelong journey. And there are kids all over the world, indigenous kids in Africa, in even Europe, in Asia, all of the Americas, that want to tell their stories. They want to reconnect to their culture, and the best way they do that is if they're just given an opportunity to sit and bear witness to some of the stories from their elders, from prominent speakers, some educators that may or may not be from their territory. So this is really a global initiative, and red has nothing to do with our skin color. As you can see, I'm not really that red. I'm a beautiful golden brown. So it's got nothing to do with the red skins or the red man or any of that stereotypical imagery. Red is really, it's an allegorical gesture of humanity. If you were to take all of our hearts out of our chests and throw them on the top of that mountain, I guarantee you wouldn't be able to tell whose was whose. Because we all bleed red, we're all connected through our blood. We can all be the ancestor of the same individual, which may happen someday. So I say to all of you, in the spirit of oral tradition, may we all be good ancestors. Let's have a good time this week. I want to congratulate all of you for doing the great work you're doing in your communities, and it's an honor to be in this room. Thank you. Iksuga.